Hello Hoopers, and welcome back to another Hoop Trick Encyclopedia lesson. And today the tutorial is all about breaks and paddles. So if you've never done breaks and paddles, if you've never seen them before, this is what it looks like. This right here is breaks, when you're using the inside of the arm to break the direction of the hoop and cause it to go the opposite direction. And paddles involves a little bit more onto the chest, and it involves the hands more than the insides of the arm. So you're using the palms as paddles to draw the hoop on opposite directions. Okay, so let's break this trick down. So obviously you want to be good at waist hooping, and you should be at this point because I'm sure you've been practicing that at least 10 minutes a day. If not, now is a great time to start. And I know it can get really tempting once you get to these off-body tricks to want to just do off-body. A lot of times people will gravitate towards one or the other, but you're really missing the point if you skip the waist hooping. I know it seems like a beginner move, but the waist hooping, the core, is the overall foundation to every other trick. I 100% believe that, and that's why I always make time to do waist hooping, even if it's just for 10 minutes, right? 5 minutes in one direction, 5 minutes in the other. You can consider that your hoop warm-up if that's the only waist hooping that you do for the entire hoop session that you have. So consider doing that from now on, just to get more comfortable with that foundation, with the core of your being comfortable with that state of flow. So grab the hoop, and I recommend using a lightweight hoop for this. You can use a medium size hoop. Let me get this one out to show you. So it's a little bit larger, not by much, a little bit heavier. That's really the main difference, is this tubing is a lot heavier than this tubing. So it'll be easier to keep it up on your waist. But for this trick, you don't have to have it rotate around the waist many times. It can go around one direction and that's fine, because we're gonna break the direction and go the opposite way anyways. So I highly recommend trying with your lighter weight hoop, and the reason why I say that is because over time you'll notice that you'll develop some bruises, some marks, scars, whatever on the inside of your arm from pinching the hoop in between the arm and the side, because that's what's breaking the direction. You're pinching the hoop and then it's causing it to rotate in the opposite way. So just to show you that again, you want to wait for the hoop to be right around here before you drop the arm down, pinch, and then it'll reverse to the other direction. Okay, and I'm trying to show you this in a slow way and it's really difficult, so follow me here. So let the arm come down and break. So when you see the hoop right about here, that's when the arm comes down. You have to beat the hoop, beat the timing of the hoop. So you cannot wait for the hoop to be out here before you put your arm down, because now look, the arm is gonna be inside the hoop. So you have to wait until the hoop is about here, break the arm down, and now you have the ability to pinch the hoop in and give it a little bit of a squeeze, and that will rotate the hoop to the other direction. And so eventually what you want to do is be able to go back and forth, and it's different for everybody. For me and my arms, I have long arms, it ends up being right around the elbow bend, so on the inside of the elbow. And sometimes it's a little bit lower, sometimes it's a little bit higher, but everyone's arm length is slightly different, everyone's torso size is different, so you may find on your body specifically that the hoop is going to be pinched in a different spot. So a good way to know is to have the hoop right on the waist, let the arm come down, and see where the hoop rests on the arm. That's the target that you want to reach when you do your breaks. Okay, so in this one we'll take a little bit of time just getting the timing right. Like I said, you want to wait for the hoop to be right about here and then let the arm drop down. So once you do that a few times, right, then you start to get that timing, you start to get the motion, and I trust that you've been practicing chest hooping as well, because that's really gonna help you for this next part, which is paddles. So paddles, you can actually start with the hoop resting on top of the palms. Let the hoop be right across the biceps, so both biceps, and it should be resting on the upper back, so the upper thoracic spine. And this is essentially where you want the hoop to be when it's going back and forth, side to side. Now, because I have my mic right here, I'm gonna move this so it doesn't make any weird noises when we're doing our breaks and our paddles. All right, so having the hoop right at chest level, give yourself a little rock side to side, and then you'll push off with your dominant hand, and then maybe you just start grabbing instead of pushing off. Maybe you grab just to see how that feels. Right? So you can try that just to see if you can get the timing right. And then once you feel like, okay, I'm on time with the hoop, then all you have to do is rotate the torso side to side, follow the direction of the hoop so that the hoop is always rolling across the chest, and you're letting the palms stay open and relaxed. So there's not like some stiff palms here. You don't want to do that same dip with the top of the hand. That's gonna be a little too much of an angle for the palm, and it's not gonna be supportive of the hoop. You really wanna cup the hoop. So as you can see here, cupping the hoop involves just a soft expression of the hand, and then you're using the fingertips to do the final push. So the push comes right in the fingertips. The palm just safely cups the hoop. The fingertips do the slight push off. Okay? So you can get a little creative with this. You can bend the torso down. Let gravity help out a little bit here, because this will help the hoop glide side to side just from being at this angle, right? You could even go in the reverse direction. So bending backwards, only if it feels okay on the spine, right? So anyone that has lower back injuries with discs, bulging discs, herniated discs, any type of scoliosis, anything like that, really be careful leaning back in that way, because so often just leaning back could be painful, but when you're adding that side to side motion, it can really start to aggravate any existing injury, or if you're not careful, it could cause an injury. So be very mindful when bending backwards. And my recommendation is to keep the glutes engaged if you do want to bend backwards, and press the hips forward so that you're creating this very sturdy area in the low back, in the glutes, and in the hip flexors. So you're not just like leaning back in space and putting all this weight on the low back, but you're creating this structure and you're zipping everything up so that you're able to just move side to side. All right, so you can actually go from breaks to, you can go from paddles to breaks, and from breaks to paddles. And you do that by simply going side to side and then sneaking one hand in. So you saw how I did that when I saw an opening. I snuck one hand in, I cupped the hoop, and then I started moving right into paddles. And that gives you time to sneak the other arm in so that you're there when the other hand needs to cup the hoop and switch to the other side. All right, so I'll show you that again. Breaks into paddles. Breaks into paddles. Arm out, pinch, 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 sneak the hand, paddle, 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 arm out, pinch, 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 sneak the hand in, paddle, paddle, paddle. So have fun with this one. I always feel like a hoop ninja when I do breaks and paddles. The reason why is because when you get really good at it, you can go really fast, and it feels like you're kind of like this ninja, like blocking. I don't know, I think of like old school cartoons or like Power Rangers or something like that when I'm doing this trick. You can have as much fun and creativity as you want. Maybe you create this fantasy character as you are doing this ninja-like movement, and that could help embody that movement a little bit more. So I know that sounds a little silly, but maybe just try it, get on board with it, and see if becoming this role of a ninja could help you learn the trick a little bit better. So You've got a lot of work to do. I'll let you get to it, and I will see you on the next lesson.